everybody, this is Bob from Buckeye Sports Center. Today we're going to take a look at the new 2021 Lund 1600 Fury Tiller. So this is a pretty simple boat. However, there are some things, a lot of people might look at a boat like this and be like, well, everybody builds a boat like this and they're all pretty much the same. But that's not really true. Lund definitely has some cool, unique features that really set this particular boat apart from other boats in that similar kind of value-oriented 16-foot or 14-foot tiller market. So first thing we're going to talk about is that this boat does have some of the DNA Lund features that all the other boats have, including their IPS hull. So that's included on this boat. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But one of the things I always like to point out on this tiller model is how wide the boat is. The widest point's actually up here in the center of the boat as opposed to in the transom. A lot of other boats might taper off and get narrower as you move forward. So that really makes this boat seem very, very big on the inside, and it creates a very, very stable platform. So the boat's very, very stable side to side. And then it does have a nice, with the IPS hull, as we move to the bow area, it does have a very nice deep V on the front. So, so if you are getting through a little bit of boat wakes or other little chop, you do have a nice deep V in the front. But in a second here, when we go to the transom, it'll be a lot flatter. This particular boat's also equipped with an upgraded trailer for this model, which will include a little bit bigger tires, a nicer fender, and a swing-away tongue. So that's just something that this particular boat has. The standard trailer is a little bit simpler than this one. So as we move to the transom, obviously we notice there's no motor on here. So usually we'll allow customers to pick their motor on this particular boat. Some people get a 9.9. You can actually go up to a 40 horsepower. So depending on your horsepower restrictions, a lot of these will sell with a 9.9 or a 20, but you can go all the way up to 40. But one of the key feature with this boat, which makes it a little bit different than everybody else, is that instead of having your traditional deep V boat go all the way from the front of the boat all the way to the back, you notice how the Lund flattens out quite a bit into a semi-V, fairly flat transom area. So that on a boat like this, that isn't super wide, we want to maintain that stability side to side, so that's one of the reasons why a bigger guy in the 1600 Fury can lean over to one direction, trying to catch a fish out of the side, and the boat's not going to feel like it's going to tip over. The boat's a very, very stable boat, kind of because the hull flattens out from the middle boat back. The other advantage of this setup is that even with those lower horsepowers, the boat typically will plane up a little easier with lower horsepower. So a lot of times this boat with a 20 horse will actually plane out where other boats don't have a chance of planing out with a 20 horse. But if you notice the top part of the boat and the bottom part, a lot of times the boat will dart in quite a bit. The bottom's very narrow, but this boat maintains a lot of its width to, again, promote that stability side to side, which is super important on a smaller boat like this, the stability. So that's really key and a unique Lund difference. So as we move inside the 1600 Fury, it's a pretty simple boat, but there are some features that we just want to point out that are included that sometimes people might miss or not realize that are there. But it does come with your anchor and navigation light for night use, an aerated live well with a pump-in system is included, as well as your bilge pump. So all those are controlled right here, easy from the driver, to access those three. They all both have a fuse right there on them, so it's really easy to access. So as we move into the middle of the 1600 Fury, again, we talked about the width and the space of this boat feels really, really wide on the inside, even though it's not really a wide boat, but it just feels really, really wide. And then, other features like a rod storage compartment. There's one on each side. This one's a little longer. I think it'll accept up to 7.5-foot rods. It's actually got a little shelf here if you wanted to have your handles from one layer on the top and then another layer on the bottom to separate them out a little bit. Again, really heavy-duty hinges from Lund. You'll notice throughout the boat, things like the cleats and even the bow eye and things like that are really, really heavy-duty put on. Even though this is a less expensive boat, Lund still doesn't chimp out on the included features to make the boat hold up for the long term. As we move up to the bow, nice sized live well. It does have an aerator, water pump in is included on this boat. And then really for this size boat, the storage is really excellent. When you consider there's storage on either side of the boat in the rod storage, but also in the bow here, two pretty big large storage compartments. And this particular boat's also pre-wired for pretty much any trolling motor that you might want to add to it. So it does have a battery and wiring already set up for a bow mount trolling motor. But you can kind of tell, again, just the fit and finish of the boat, for a pretty rugged, pretty utilitarian style boat, the fit and finish is, I think, really, really good. The boat just doesn't feel, you open up the compartments, a lot of times you'll see things that look pretty cheap, and they're adding extra stabilization points, extra ribs to make the boat more stable, so you're not stepping on the bow and it feels like it's going to cave in. So really a nice overall boat, heavy duty boat. So thanks for checking out the 1600 tiller with us here at Buckeye Sports Center. For more information and to view our full inventory, go to buckeyesportscenter.com. Thanks for watching.